These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Mountain Goat. Article, quote, an unprecedented reconstruction campaign led by Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani in the capital Baghdad, in particular, and Iraq in general, stressing that the general view of Iraq now has become optimistic, unquote. Mountain Goat says, for years I've been saying, when will they get serious about the reconstruction of the war-torn Iraq? I also said that when they do, we will then most likely see the dinar reforms we need and the reinstatement shortly following. This does not mean the reconstruction has to be completed, but only budgeted, and the budget passed and opened. They must show Washington they are serious this time. Iraq must be stable and secure to get the reinstatement. Frank26 Firefly says they are now talking on News Channel 1 how we need to print a note lower than the 250 notes that we have now, something like a 50 note. They're suggesting it in long term lower the prices of food and goods having lower denomination notes. Frank says this is the new national currency we've been telling you about. It's going to start with the lower notes. The program rate cannot function with the lower notes, but they are introducing them to you. Remember when they got rid of the 50 note a few years ago? They got rid of them because they were pointless at a program rate. Now they're going to give you something under 250 because they're going to change the exchange rate. Things are coming together very nicely. All right, Mark Z via PDK and Iraq, quote, a special session to vote on the budget on Monday. They're working on it as we speak. I was hoping we would have the quick rubber stamp on it this morning, but nothing yet. We told you last week the new rate may not be in the budget. What is important is the mechanism in the budget to change the rate whenever they need to. Things are looking great, everyone. Absolutely nothing negative. Many conversations on Iraq over the weekend on lower denominations. How they need something lower than the 250 dinar note. They talk about re-establishing the 50 dinar note. Why do they need smaller notes if they have coins? It means they are preparing to change their value. All right, Militiaman article, quote, banknote of 50 Iraqi dinars must be printed, unquote. Militiaman says right now their lowest currency is 250. This article is suggesting a 50 or say 100 to have smaller denominations. Tells you there's going to be an increase in the value to the currency, to have a need for those small currencies. Article, quote, we're in an economic crisis, so we must hasten to find a solution, unquote. Militiaman says they're openly talking about small category notes. Not all of them, they just give reference to the 50 and the 100, which is a step in the right direction. All right, Pimpy says people are trying to claim there's an in-country rate and an out-country rate. There's not going to be one that's for out of country and one that's for in-country. The only time you're going to see them talk about two exchange rates are the parallel exchange rates. All that is the difference between what the government says the exchange rate is and what the parallel black market rate is. So it's what people are willing to give you on the streets versus what the officials are willing to give you in the bank. All right, Nader from the Mideast says, I'm upset. I got bad news for you guys. I'm really heartbroken, but it is what it is. The truth hurts. The reality is very painful. There's no rate change in the budget. There's no RVs happening tomorrow or this week with the budget. I'm sad, but what do you do? What do you want to do? It's life. The good news on the budget is there's no law that can stop the RV. In the budget, they put this law and they can change the exchange rate anytime. I want to be 100% wrong, believe me. I hope I'm wrong. I think it's going to be good, though. It's going to be good. Let's just see what's going on. All right, Walking Stick via Frank26 says this transition from USDs to IQDs in the country of Iraq can only work with a different exchange rate. The program rate is being officially removed. Frank26 article, quote, economist, the central bank is working on issuing new cash and warns of a commodity catastrophe. The new national currency in lower denominations will avoid a catastrophe. Mark Z via PDK, quote, budget 2023, political consensus and parliamentary disagreement. When will it pass, unquote. Mark Z says the people in Iraq want to know when will the budget pass. They want you to know they're meeting over the next few days. They're going to grind through the budgetary process. Personally, I think this is all show and they have already approved it. For whatever reason, they are trying to buy a few more days before they let it go. The question is why? That's the question I am asking myself. All right, Claire, article quote, the Iraqi Stock Exchange achieves the first place in the Arab world in terms of daily trading volume and rate, unquote. Another quote, the Iraqi Stock Exchange achieved the first place as the best market in daily trading volume, and daily average number of shares traded for the year 2022, unquote. All right, Frank26 says, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. In my opinion, once that budget comes out, it's like bursting open a piñata. It's like busting open a cornucopia. We're going to have a lot of information given to us. It's very valuable in understanding where they're at with a monetary reform. Shoot, it might actually give us the new exchange rate. All right, and lastly, Mark Z via PDK. Remember, in Kuwait, that morning of their RV, they posted an article saying the RV was going to be months away. Then that same day they went. This is normal. Expect misinformation. Do not ride the roller coaster.